Happy Wednesday, folks. I hope you all are having a good morning or afternoon or evening or whenever you're watching this. I look a little gross because I went to the gym this morning, and if you saw my Instagram story, maybe I'll just like put it on the screen somewhere around here. Um, if I go to the gym before 6 a.m. and I'm the first person who is in the hallway in my apartment, it looks like a giallo film, if you know what that is. It looks like the movie Opera or Suspiria. It is just bathed in red light. That all of the lights turn off. They're on some sort of timer and motion detector system. All of the like overhead lighting is off, which you think as a gay I would appreciate. But all the overhead lighting is off. All you have are exit and emergency lights, which are red. So the hallway is just blood red. It is terrifying. I'm very brave. All right, so today it's July, which you can tell because, at least in the Northern Virginia area, it is blisteringly hot. The humidity, what is the humidity in this room? 67%. So I got like a little, does anyone deal with like maintaining the climate of your book collection? I am worried about the how high the humidity is and what it might be doing to these books. 67% is like entirely too high. I think the recommended range to keep books in is between like 30 and 50%. You don't want it to be too low or they get brittle, but if it's too high, like I don't I'm cooking these books. I'm cooking it's like soup in here. So does anyone like maintain their books humidity? Do you guys use a dehumidifier? I got like a little cheapo dehumidifier that is like tiny, 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 and it doesn't do anything. I guess I would be willing to spend the money and find the space for a larger dehumidifier because I don't want my books to get moldy. And speaking of climate, the I have to turn the AC way up when I'm recording videos because I'm sure you can hear that even with this microphone. It's like a helicopter taking off with the air conditioning. The thing is like right above me here. Anyway, so there's a bunch of complaints. How are you? These video slash podcasts are for people who are interested in them. So I don't mind like the AC running a little bit right now. But when I'm recording like more important videos, not that you're not important to me, it's actually how important you are to me that you get to hear the air conditioning. But when I'm recording something like the Kiss the Villain video, which I did over the weekend, I don't want any interruptions like that. So I didn't turn the AC off, but I turned it way up. And by the end of it, it was so hot in here. And it just like, I don't know, I guess it contributes a little to the vibe of those videos. The same thing happened with the God of Fury video, which I'm getting better at recording videos. The God of Fury video took me 6 hours just to record. And the Kiss the Villain video only took like 2.5 hours to record, or maybe 3 hours to record, and it is longer. So I'm getting really efficient. But anyway, I turn the AC off for those and it drives me crazy, but you can hear the AC. So my Kiss the Villain video is out. I'm very pleased with that. Lots of great discussion about people being frustrated with Rena Kent and people who like the book saying that they appreciate the alternative perspective. I am very interested in those kinds of conversations. I am very interested in both sides of this equation, although it just like generally turns out that I'm on one side of it where I have a lot of critiques and complaints about something and someone else liked it and they say what they liked about it, and then they also, recognize the things that I had, the critical things that I had to say about it. I think like it's okay to like something and also recognize that it maybe isn't good or that maybe someone didn't like, just removing the kind of like objective uh and normative language there, that there are, we live in an intersubjective world. I like things that you don't like, and you like things that I don't like. And it's actually more interesting to unpack and explain those things so that we can understand more about the collective world that we live in. And I'm just like so brave for starting those conversations. Anyway, I am pleased with that video. Great discussion, some recommendations of other dark romance. This happened with the God of Fury stuff in the past. I am definitely going to do some more stuff with dark romance. That is becoming like a longer term project. And then I don't know if it will be the same. I'm not yet sure if that project is the same project about taboo romance. Both of them are kind of like on the back burner because I have more important things that I want to be working on right now. But that is something I'm going to return to. The more important things that I'm working on right now is what's happening in July. So tomorrow we're getting our first Rachel Reed video. I recorded it 2 weeks ago and edited it 2 weeks ago before I got into a new editing flow, so it doesn't have as many little flourishes as the Kiss the Villain video. I'm also still like working out exactly how to like how this workflow can get me like the highest quality looking video. So I'm experimenting with that today. That's another one of the reasons why I'm doing these little podcasty things. But anyway, July and the first 2 weeks of August. What is the how many weeks are there in July this year? Actually, no. So all of July and 1 week into August will be Rachel Reed month. So the goal, if I can do it, and I am on track right now, is starting tomorrow, we will get Game Changer, and then the following Thursday will be Heated Rivalry, and then I don't know the rest of the order, but we'll get the other 4 books finishing at the beginning of August. And there will be some bonuses. So I did the same kind of close reading for KJ Charles' book, Copper Script, which I liked an awful lot. And I think that there is a substantial video in there, 45 minutes to an hour, recap and analysis and discussion. Lots of interesting stuff there. KJ Charles is just so good. So July, we'll probably have 5 videos. The Kiss the Villain video didn't technically come out in July because that's how time works. But 5 videos, possibly more than that. I really want to have a setup where I can get at least 1 video a week. And then it's really more about the reading. The recording and editing, I'm getting like a lot more efficient with. I feel like if I had 2 books locked and loaded with my note-taking system, I could record those on a Saturday and a Sunday and edit both of them and have them done. It's more about like, do I have the time and like the mental bandwidth to do that reading? Like sometimes I just get a little burnt out reading a book that closely and like taking notes and looking things up. But that sort of makes it sound like work, and it is work, but it's high level hobby is kind of like how I think about it right now. It's like a hobby that I'm putting a lot of time into and that I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying it so far, and I hope that other people enjoy it as well. Maybe. I got this like wild comment. I thought it was one of y'all. I thought it was like Jose, Orlando, or someone who knew me. Someone left a comment and they reached out over Instagram DM later. Someone left a comment on my Kiss the Villain video. It was basically like the theme of the channel and the content for the next 6 weeks. They're like, I have been looking, for a deep, long form romance analysis channel. This is exactly what I'm looking for. You should do Rachel Reed videos next. And I'm like, you must know me. You're trolling me. And they reached out on Insta and they're like, oh my God, I found you. Like, I'm so excited for this. I am a real person. And I was like, oh my God, like you see me. Ah! So anyway, I'm excited for all that. Things seem to be going well. I don't know. Still experimenting with a lot of stuff. And I think that you will see, I would not be surprised if like videos come out kind of in a weird order from when I record them. So if and as I improve with that, you might be like, oh, this video looks great. And then the next video is like, oh, this is dog shit. What happened here? But anyway, look forward to all of that, I suppose. So tomorrow is Game Changer. Next Thursday will be Heated Rivalry, assuming everything goes fine, and I think it will. I'm a little more than halfway. Do I have some preliminary thoughts that I could share with you? Interesting. Maybe? So, I feel like what did I leave a Goodreads review of? A Copper Script. I left a fairly brief positive review of Copper Script on Goodreads, and I didn't put a star rating. And I'm kind of thinking I might just stop doing star ratings. I just have this, I feel this like tension. I didn't realize I was going to talk about this today. Especially for indie and self-pub authors, I feel like it's the star rating on their Goodreads is really important. And honestly, if I'm like very, very honest, there are a few books that I have read that would be more than 4 stars. That would be a 5-star book. I think a lot of them would be in like 3-star range. And, I think that hurts the perception of a book. Even if you put like on your Goodreads profile, like this is how I rate things and 5 is very rare or whatever. I'm just starting to wonder if I'm not going to do star ratings at all or adopt a 5 or 1 star system, where it's like if I was at all positive on a book, it's 5 stars, and I'll put maybe like a disclaimer on the reviews like this is what I actually think about it, but I just like I'm generous with these stars because it's important on these platforms. And then if it's bad, it's 1 star. I don't know. I would appreciate people's thoughts on that. Like I don't know. It's on my mind. So, but for now, I might stop doing star ratings at all and just leave a text review. And I think that that is more consistent with my approach here, where it's like, oh, well, you have an hour and a half of things to say about some of these like gay hockey romances. How can you bake that down? How can you boil that down to like it's 3 stars? Okay, so I guess this is a little preview for the stuff that I'm thinking about for Heated Rivalry. So in my general notes and themes section, these are the like top level sections I have so far: guilt, shame, and pride. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna like keep cooking on this one, but I think like it's really there's like this Shane and Ilya are these like yin and yang shame and pride creatures, and I even like see their names a little in it. Like shame is 1 letter away from Shane. Pride, that's like a lot further away from Ilya, but it has like the I in it. I don't know. I might be like looking way too deep into that, but the word pride or proud occurs 25 times in the book. Shame and humiliate or humiliation occur almost an equal number of times, 26 times. I just am keenly detecting the themes of shame and pride and how they are like intertwined with one another. And I think one character, Shane, is a little bit more shame like driven, but has like a deep well of pride inside of him. And then Ilya is like the like mirror opposite of that, where he's very like pride driven but has like this well of shame inside. I have a section that I'm fleshing out that's press, public perception, and expectations. And I think that this also was this seems to be like a recurring theme, because I mentioned this as a stray observation, I think, in Game Changer, but Kip has, it's like very small, but it was notable to me. Like it landed a lot for me. It hit the when he was at the Met with Scott. One of the reasons why he wants to be in like public education, doing stuff in museums or whatever, is being able to tell essentially marginalized stories, but having control over like what stories get told. And then there is a much larger presence of like the press and public perception and expectations for Scott. That is like remarkable. That is like even more so in Heated Rivalry. Like the number of times like the press, the fans, the league are making this rivalry between these two guys is like it's a lot. I have a lot on queerness and queer men, like a lot in here. There's many notes. This is like as long as like a Kiss the Villain section, and I'm only halfway through the book. And it's like there's good stuff in here and there's bad stuff in here. I got to the section where the F word got used in this book, and I liked it even less than I did in Game Changer. And this is not a very old book, and I really don't like it. And then I was chatting like about some related issues with some gay men on Insta over DM, and they were like, this author uses the word 25 times in a book that was published like this year or last year. And I'm like, can we not do that? Can we like not do that? I have a section on bad and clunky writing. I didn't have this in the previous one, but I just felt like there's a few more obvious things in this, just like little like, oh, that's wrong. And also, I don't know if this is bad or clunky. I don't know where this fits, but like, God, Rachel Reed uses the word slit a lot for the like the open it for urethra and like doing stuff. I'm like, I don't think people like that. Why are you talking about that so much? Stop. Use the word slit 9 times in this book. Ugh, let's not do that. I'd rather you call me the F slur. And then good writing. There's good writing in this. I'm mostly picking out funny things. Like she does a comic smash cut, just like Rena Kent does. That's something I just read. Probably nothing, Ilya says. Section break, 1 month later. It wasn't nothing. I like stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm cooking on this Heated Rivalry review, discussion, whatever. Halfway through, I think like my opinion of it is sort of like, it's okay. I don't hate it or anything. I don't think it's like that great. And I think it like... I think it like kind of treads water a little bit. I was like, now I'm like getting into the actual discussion of it, but like the first, it's not split into acts exactly. It has these kind of like very unusually length parts, but like all of part 1 and part 2 are like basically just Shane and Ilya. It's about 40% of the book before other characters really get introduced. And to me, it just feels claustrophobic. Like, where are the other people? It's almost like the polar opposite of Game Changer, where I was like, there are so many characters. Almost like it, like if I had, it's like a Goldilocks thing where it's like that first book. It was like, there's too many named characters. There's too many people to keep track of. I like the named character list, like 30 characters long for a book that wasn't that long. And I was like, this is too many, Rachel. And then she like went way in the other direction. I'm like, there's not enough named characters. Anyway, so look forward to that in 2 weeks. Well, I guess not in 2 weeks, actually, in 8 days. I gotta get on that. The main thing I wanted to talk about today is television. And I don't know if this is like actually going to take up the bulk of the video, but I came here to praise the AMC original program Halt and Catch Fire. This is a great show. And I guess I'm also here to complain about streaming, which has just like ruined everything. So I reference Halt and Catch Fire briefly in my Kiss the Villain video because I think Rena Kent or whoever writes her books, those books, it's just a very lazy writer, and I even got feedback from a neurodivergent person. I mean, like I think they might have been autistic, someone who masks regularly, about just like how exhausting it is and how much work it is. You can't do it all the time. And there is a character, Gareth in Kiss the Villain, who's like masking, and he's like he is like a psychopath, a secret psychopath. Everyone's a psychopath in those books, and violent and dangerous. Everyone is violent and dangerous in those books. But he masks, and he has this public image. He always calls it an image of being like a good boy, charming, like studious, and he is like a charming manipulator. That's how he's described. We are shown him being a charming manipulator, I would say like 1.5 times in a 500 plus page book. And then flipping through all of the previous mentions of him quickly in all the other books, there are like some instances of it, but it's rare. Mostly it is people thinking like he's the good. It's just people's telling us. It's just like characterization by label, like he is good boy. And I think it just like is deeply compromising to his character. Like if you want it to be a big twist and you want it to be like shocking, you want it to be surprising how he is, that he is not more successful at that charming manipulative act. And by that, I mean, we're not shown it very like at all. And I compare him to the character Joe McMillan, who is played by Lee Pace, who's a very handsome man. And it is a deep ensemble cast on Halt and Catch Fire. I would say 4 main characters. There are 5, but one of them is a little bit like kind of like a very important side character. The 4 main characters are a real ensemble, and in such a way that I'm not going to give spoilers here, so I'm just going to say something. I mean, like this will probably spoil it a little bit. We're almost done with the last season, and in one of the last episodes of the 4th season, something happens that is gutting. It is gutting. And my partner and I, we have like a nightly routine where we eat our dinner and we watch a program, and then we sit and we discuss it, and then we watch some YouTube videos, and then we retire to our respective like dens and read or play video games or what have you. And last night we watched that episode and we just sat on the couch for several minutes, and then we were just like, let's find some cat videos on YouTube. This is a lot. It just like that show has deep hooks. Like deep hooks in my heart. This has quickly become one of my favorite television shows of all time. If you don't, and I guess I haven't even said what I've been talking about this for like 4 minutes. I haven't even said what it is. It is a show. It takes place over 10 years, roughly, maybe more like 11 or 12, from like the early 80s to the mid 90s, and it is about technology. It is about like Silicon Valley and like the fierce competition in the personal computer space in the 80s, and then it kind of becomes about the dot-com bubble in the 90s. It is these 4 or 5 characters in Dallas, Texas, and it's centered around this like mainframe computer company called Cardiff Electric, who are sort of a dinosaur company, and they have no real big aspirations. And there's like a senior engineer there who is similar, it's like very talented guy, but who has had a total failure to launch and just has sort of like a comfortable, boring job. He's got a very talented, so that guy is Gordon. His wife, Donna, is a very talented engineer, but she's kind of stuck at a dead end job at Texas Instruments as like an assistant to a guy. There is a young woman named Cameron, played by Mackenzie Davis, who is in college and has like big dreams, but doesn't know how to like make them real. And then their lives are just upended by Joe McMillan, Lee Pace's character. Literally drives into town a year after going completely dark. He'd been like hotshot rising star executive at IBM at Big Blue, and he flamed out, caused millions of dollars in damage. Like, by he is kind of a dangerous psychopath, and like something went wrong there, and he like flooded a data center in like revenge and acting out, and then he just like went on, like fell off the face of the planet for a year, and then he shows up in Dallas and insinuates himself into this company and like forces them to make a personal computer. He like spins, all these big dreams for Gordon and gets him to make like an illegal reverse engineered copy of some IBM programming. And then once they've made it, the only way that this company cannot get sued is if they like go all in and make a personal computer. So like right from the beginning, it's like, oh, he is a crazy person and he is like no good, but he is so charming. And like when he is with like the programmers and the people who work there, you can see like why they would follow someone like him. And then you see him in private and he's like crazy and he's got like scars all over him and he's got a dark secret past. And it's like all the kind of stuff you would see in a Rena Kent book. But it's just pulled off so much more successfully. That's why I compared him to Gareth. But like the arcs that these characters go on is so remarkable in the show. Like, again, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, but I'm not going to say who it is, but we have gone through 4 seasons of this show and about like 12 years of these 4 people's lives. And my fiance at in the beginning part of season 4 said, I can't believe that this character is the final boss of this show. And it is remarkable that it's like, wow, they went from there in like season 1 episode 1 to here, and then it was like, what's going to happen toward the end? Just an incredible show. I have just enjoyed the hell out of watching it, but you can only watch it. It is just impossible to watch it. It like each season is available somewhere, kind of like Pluto TV or this, that, or the other thing. The only way to reliably get it is to have a paid subscription to AMC Plus, and it's just like, why are you making it so difficult for people to enjoy stuff? I like. It just bothers me that so much, and the show is a lot about this too. The show is about the tension between business and art, and why is it like artists made this show, writers and actors and directors and editors, people who cared a lot about it, like poured their heart and soul into it, and it is so good. And so few people. It also came out in an era where like not a lot of people could watch something and it could still come out, and that doesn't exist anymore. If they had dropped this first season on Netflix and the first season is the weakest season, even though I think it is really good, they'd be like, no way, we're not continuing with this. And we would have lost out on like such an incredible thing. I just like when I think about how hard it is to see this, um, I am upset on behalf of like myself and potential viewers of something like this, but also on behalf of the artists who made it, that their work is it's not lost, but it is hard to find. And I just think that sucks. And I know it's difficult. I know like the business side of this is hard. It costs money. They want to make money back. Like how yada yada yada. Like licensing deals are difficult. There's even though there is just like a hateful amount of money that sloshes around the Hollywood system, it is on a sort of like a per show and ultimately down to like a per person basis. It's not that much if you take away, like the 1% of the highest paid actors and directors. There's not actually a lot of money for every individual person. I understand all of that, and I still think like that sucks. All right, the last thing is a treat just for me. I already had this is included in a TikTok that I did yesterday. I sort of am differentiating TikTok and Instagram. Like this is the beginning of the end of my like my career as it has been on the internet as Carter Kalchik, and the beginning of it's like the end of that, and it's the beginning of tongue in cheek. I think TikTok is going to remain kind of a personal account that does talk about romance and stuff like that, but Instagram and other things are going to be like focused on romance. So that's where you can find Star Wars content. And it was really fun. It's really fun getting back into Star Wars. Oh, I don't know, Jason. I doubt that you watch these videos, but if you do, hi. I'm excited that Jason Easy Cat is doing Star Wars books because I think they're very fun, especially the covers. So I just read Wedge's Gamble, the second Rogue Squadron book, and I did a brief section in my discussion of it on TikTok on the covers of these books. These covers are freaking all-timers, man. Doesn't this make you want to pick this book up? Isn't this, and like, it's not that they're bad, but like, let me show you the cover of this is the new cover. It's so just like average. It's like mid. It's not bad, but it's just like, could be better. So this is Rogue Squadron, Wedge's Gamble. Oh, I love that one. But like my favorite one is coming up. There's the Krytos Trap. These are paintings, by the way. And then this one is like just my favorite. Actually, I think Rogue Squadron is my favorite, but this is a very, very close runner-up. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of these take like references from the movies. Oh, not literally all of them, because like that space station is not something from the movies. But I think like that shot of a Star Destroyer is literally a shot from Empire Strikes Back, but it's been rendered in just this. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. The shield generator blowing up here. Ugh, so good. Anyway, I treasure these books, and these Essential Legends collection books that are coming out. I think it's great that that's happening. I think it's great that these are now available to people in a new format. And I don't know that I necessarily like the trade paperback format itself, but I'm glad that they have a new life, and it seems like we might be getting the new Jedi Order just based on a book that they recently released, and that would be like quite a coup, and it'll take them a very long time based on how they release them. But like, I wish that they had found a way to keep these covers somehow. Like, it would be really cool if, you know, they had the new cover, but then maybe like the inside or something had like it had the old cover or something like that, or I don't know, like even just a reference to it. Doesn't even really have a reference to it. So I'm excited to read Star Wars books. I'm currently reading Young Jedi Knight's Darkest Night, and I got this from a place around here, a used bookstore around here called Wonder Book, and it smells deeply of cigarettes. Happy Wednesday, y'all.